Hi, I'm Paul Proscia. I'm president of the Marine Biology Society, and today I'm with.
Professor Rotondo, adjunct instructor in the psychology department.
So, what is some of your work that you do here?
Excellent. So I teach a class called Learning and Behavior. It's an experimental psychology course in the Department of Psychology, where for a while we worked with white carnu pigeons, where we conducted, I want to say, experiments with operant chambers, or as you guys may know, Pavlovian chambers. And the college actually has a vivarium, or had a vivarium, which not many people knew about.
Wait, where is it?
It was in building 4S, and It's a place where we would house the pigeons and the white carnu participants that participated in the studies, and they were maintained on a 12-hour light-dark cycle.
Wait, what room is 4S?
It's right next to the bathroom on the first floor, on the right-hand side of the building.
Okay, right.
It's not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
We no longer have the avian participants.
So when you did, it was just pigeons, or is there any other bird species?
A while back when I started, because I've been at the college now 13 years, they had chickens, bantam chickens, and white carnu pigeons. We've always had white carnu pigeons. Bantam chickens we had during my time here, it was maybe the first 4 or 5 years I was teaching. But we never used them, well, I didn't personally use them in the studies. But all of the participants were maintained in IACUC standards, and animal caretakers cared for them and tended to them according to requirements set forth by IACUC.
So what are some things that you've been able to learn or research under, like finding out the difference between humans and pigeons, or what exactly do you find?
Great question. So we conducted a lot of studies and in our operant chambers, and we did things like reinforcement contingencies, schedules of reinforcement, shaping procedures, extinction procedures, and choice behavior. So one of the interesting things are comparatively with animals, we share a lot of traits in terms of our choice behavior. You can look at some aspects of addiction on animal models of behavior, how people react to schedules of reinforcement contingencies that are set up, extinction, and that sort of thing. A lot of the studies we did dealt with auto-shaping, extinction, schedules of reinforcement, generalization, discrimination, so discriminating between two stimuli or treating stimuli among a class in a similar way. We've done all things like that, and comparatively, it's similar to the way we would think about that, or how we would engage in choice behavior.
So what would an example, like you said, addiction, can you run through the experiment, what you would do? Or
Yeah, so animal models of addiction can show how a reinforcement contingency can lead to either an increase or a decrease in behavior. So take addiction, for example. How does addiction work? Why do people become addicted to certain substances? So what about the substance causes the addiction? We look at models where we can see addiction in a different light, and more so look at a schedule of using a drug and how that may impact a person, or more importantly, why people may opt for continuing a drug despite its punishing effects. So we have something that we look at, it's called when punishment kind of acts as a reinforcer. So for example, smoking cigarettes. If you get a shock, but after the shock you get a cigarette, you may look forward to the shock for the purpose of getting the cigarette. And the shock may not deter you from getting the cigarette. So for addiction, we look at maybe 12 or 20 participants, and why do only 5 of those people that do a drug get addicted and 15 don't? What's the factor that contributes to the likelihood they become addicted to a substance? And if it's only some people, why do those people prefer to continue doing the substance despite getting punishment and other effects that occur? And things like that we look at. Choice behavior, so if you're presented with 3 stimuli, does preference determine which stimuli you choose? Are you likely to treat stimuli within the same class the same way? Are you going to discriminate among stimuli, treat them differently? Those are other studies we kind of do. So we look at choice behavior, we look at matching to sample. So like people with schizophrenia may have complications matching a picture with a delayed sample procedure, and maybe if they presented like with something like a voxel or a pattern, they may have difficulty remembering that due to brain differences, right? So we look at stuff like that, and we look at how those aspects or how the brain's affected by these types of contingencies.
So when a pigeon's just like addicted, how does it react? Is it like?
So like I never did studies on pigeons with addiction because it was unethical. Or the studies I chose were more so positive reinforcement. But I would say addiction for pigeons. Let's look at a pigeon that is used to a schedule of reinforcement. Let's say they're getting reinforced, and let's say the reinforcement changes, where now they're not getting reinforced every time they do something, but once in a while. If they're getting reinforced once in a while for doing a behavior, what we're noticing, or what we would find on, if we vary the schedule of reinforcement, it's gonna motivate more behavior. So if we present a variable schedule where every time you do something, you don't get reinforced, but once in a while you get reinforcement, kind of like a slot machine.
Okay.
What does that do to people that play gambling?
They wanna go back.
Exactly, they want to keep playing. Why? Because they want to win.
Yeah.
But now you're not winning every time you pull the lever, right? But what causes you, what motivates you to keep playing and keep pulling the lever? Now pushing the lever over and over again would be a variable schedule of reinforcement.
Okay.
Slot machines would not work if every 5 times you pull them, you got a prize. Or every other time you pull it, you got a prize. But if you vary the reinforcement, it motivates the behavior so that you continue doing it. The same thing occurs to other addictions that may occur. Or literature exists that talks about how those addictions are based on our reinforcement, how we perceive our surroundings or how we react to certain situations, which is interesting.
It's very interesting.
It's cool stuff.
Like a